We have a little trader trouble going on. Season 3, episode 6. Wow, in regards to the tension. This is a spoiler review. So I'm going to go right into it. The key thing is the problem that we have in regards to the traders is that they clearly do not trust one another where they should be working with each other in order to progress. But in regards to the ripple effect that Boston Rob did a couple of episodes ago by ousting a fellow trader, that has now made some insecurity amongst the traders. You have Danielle trying to, spread little lies out there to kind of oust her fellow trader, being in the form of Caroline. Caroline finding out, being pissed. You have Derek, which is really getting into the Boston Rob type of scenario and really trying to bring the cavalry in regards to ousting Boston Rob, which he's correct in the one aspect, which I said in the last review. And that was that you have Boston Rob. Yes, we have Wes out there too, that is legendary in the reality show game. But the scenario is that you have Boston Rob that is really an all star when it comes to reality show competition. So ultimately, you would assume, even if he was a faithful or a traitor, you need to get him out. But in regards to the episode, the scenario is he's trying to do that. People are finding out amongst themselves that, one is calling the other one out, and there's insecurity or unstable vibe going on through the traders. There is a challenge. I'm not going to get into the challenge. It is really cool, especially in a scavenger hunt type of way of looking at things. But there were three shields that came out of it. So out of the three shields, three individuals have that. Bob H gets murdered earlier on, due to Boston Rob thinking that Bob H might have an idea that that Boston Rob might be a threat. Again, I would have gotten Derek out, but that's just me. Ultimately, what you have is Derek saying, I'm going to call Boston Rob out. You have Caroline that is completely pissed off that her fellow trader, as far as Danielle, wants her out. So you have a massive, massive, tense voting table. Now, the interesting thing about this whole thing is the strongest player, I think, next to Boston Rob is indeed Wes. So, what is going on in this table is a bunch of emotions. Derek calls out Boston Rob. Caroline calls out Danielle. Everyone starts calling out Wes. Wes then does the stupidest thing and says, listen, if you think, I'm a traitor, then, my eyes are on you. Ultimately, that tells people a little bit of a rough message that, wait a second, is this guy a traitor? And then ultimately, you have yelling in regards to Caroline and Danielle, et cetera, et cetera. The vote goes out. And then it was tense. You had Boston Rob and Wes uh, tied pretty much in regards to getting ousted. It came out to Sierra. Sierra votes out Wes. And then ultimately, what ends up happening is Wes reveals that he is indeed a faithful, which to everybody's shock, he leaves everybody with a very egotistical type of goodbye, and just gives everybody the finger and walks off. Interesting. The scenario of it all is that now Derek is talking to good old Zac Efron's brother, which is kind of a faithful to Boston Rob, and try to convince him in regards to maybe we should get Boston Rob up. Now, the problem that you have with Derek is that ultimately you are telling people that Boston Rob and I don't trust him. And then for some reason, you get the vibe that people are now looking not at the message that Derek is providing, but in turn, making Derek look suspicious. So here we go. The traders end up at the end, and really, a really outside of the actual voting table, a tense regroup of the three traders that clearly do not trust one another at all, to the point that Caroline finishes off the episode pretty much of Danielle, um, being that you're next. So that leads us to next week. The intriguing thing is that whoever the next murderer is, that the traders will have to show their face, which is amazing television. So I want to know what your thoughts are, guys. Let me know who you think is going to come out in the end. Leave it in the comments below. And as always, in the good old YouTube tradition, subscribe, like, and again, of course, like I just mentioned, comment. And then for more information about our games in regards to our scavenger hunt uh, game and or scavenger hunt game ideas and all that good stuff that we offer here on the channel, just hit that floating box and it'll lead you to that. Thanks so much, guys. Until next Friday, keep on watching. Take care. Bye bye.